And this is a wonderful time to really think about what the values that you have are, and then how they're best implemented in your classroom, in your building, with the importance of values and having those values and using them to guide your instruction, your classroom management, the environment, the climate and culture in your school, in your classroom, in your district.
Welcome to the School Climate and Culture Show. Hosted by Steve, a passionate advocate of positive school climate and culture, together with Megan Deedy. Join us as we explore strategies, share success stories, and provide actionable tips to improve the culture and climate in your school.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the School Climate and Culture Show.
Welcome.
Yes. Now, for those of you who are watching the video, who are looking, you probably noticed that we are together in the same space once again.
Right.
And this is kind of exciting of where we are. This is something that a lot of educators don't know about. Educational speakers don't even know about this that much, and they need to. So where are we?
We are at NSA, which is the National Speakers Association Conference in Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado. That's right. So this is National Speakers Association is the premier association for speakers, professional speakers, people who get in front of others to talk, who have a speaking-driven business, keynoters, professional developers, consultants, coaches. If you use your voice to speak, this is the association that is the premier one pretty much in the world for that. I mean, many other countries have their own version of this, but that's what this is.
Yeah.
And so it's really exciting to be here.
Well, we're not just here for the conference. We actually are here celebrating something pretty amazing that Steve has gotten this week. He earned his CSP, Certified
Speaking Professional. Now, you probably noticed around my neck is something here. This is the medal that I get. It's a CSP, NSA CSP. And so for that, let me explain a little bit about what that is. So the CSP, Certified Speaking Professional, it is a designation that certain speakers can get. Less than 5% of speakers in the world have this designation. And it pretty much identifies you as one of the best of the best. You have gone through speaking a certain amount of time. You've accumulated a certain amount of income from speaking. You have results back from testimonials from your clients that are very, very positive, as well as your own speaking is evaluated. So the criteria to get to it is not easy. Like I'm saying, it's about 5+ years in order to get this. So I am, yes, very, very happy and very proud that I have this designation. And for those in the blog, we're looking at those, reading the blog on this, or even within the video, I'm sure we'll show some pictures of me receiving the designation.
It was pretty cool. So glad I could be here for that. Yeah. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I had a little team that was here. Integrated was here. Both you and Kara, my assistant Jessica was here. My daughter was here. So it was a really, really nice event.
Yeah.
So, but whenever we are in the same space, we make sure that we come to you guys and do a recording, a session of the podcast in the same space.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
Now, the time of year right now, this is the beginning of August. What's happening in a week for you?
Yeah, well, I can now say starting Monday, I'm going back to the classroom. We have our staff meeting, the whole week of the teacher prep, and then kids come back. So gearing up right after this to head back to the school.
The one thing that I do love is that, like, this is real. Well, between you and I, you are a working classroom teacher. I am in and out of schools constantly, former administrator, as you guys know. So when we talk to you, it's from the front lines. It's from right in for where you are, what's actually happening. And it's even though that we're here at this great event, in your mind, you're still thinking, hey,
I'm still answering the emails. Like, when are we gonna get that new tech? Or it's
all
right
the different
there.
things. And this is my busiest season. I am all over the place, really doing what I can to go into schools, help schools get started. I'm keynoting in a million places. I have not been home for about 12 days. Then I'm here. Then I got to leave and go to South Dakota and things like that. So just so you know, this is what we're working with. This is what we are. This is
coming from a real place.
It is coming from a real place.
Absolutely. So what are we talking about today?
So what we're talking about today, the title of today is Valuing Values. Valuing Values. And came up with this topic because it is the beginning of the school year for many, many schools and districts. And this is a wonderful time to really think about what the values that you have are, and then how they're best implemented in your classroom, in your building. And we talked about this before we got on, and the way we're going to kind of look at this is from the classroom level, building-wide, and district level, with the importance of values and having those values and using them to guide your instruction, your classroom management, the environment, the climate and culture in your school, in your classroom, in your district.
I think it's really the heart of your classroom management. You know, I think it's something that you just keep coming back to. Our last recording, our last podcast, we were talking about the first days of school and how do you set that up and create this community. And I think, you know, coming up with your values in your classroom is one very big part of that. You know, like those 3 words, we call it the big 3. So we come up with, you know, what are the 3 things that we're going to hold ourselves to all year long? And in our class, my classroom last year, they came up with respectful and truthful and accountability. And we ran with that all year long, all the time. It keeps coming up again and again and again, no matter where we are in the building and even when they leave me.
Yes. And the same thing, let's look at it at a building-wide level. Okay, let's say you're an administrator, first day back with all your teachers. It is a wonderful opportunity to say, hey, and I get it, you got to go through all the bloodborne pathogens, presentations, you got to go through.
For that one.
Yeah. You got to go through all the other things. I get that. But taking some time aside, talking to your staff, do a survey. And if you want the survey, I have a survey, an outline that you could use. All right, go to, just email me at Steven, STEVEN, at standtallsteve.com. But you do a survey where you question the teachers and you ask them, what do we all respect and value? What is most important to us? Not just from what we want the kids to do, but what we want us to do as well. Then you use those 3 words, maybe 4, all right? 3 words, and that is the key. That is the anchor that you're using throughout the year. This is who we are. We're about teamwork, integrity, accountability, right? We're going to make sure that we highlight that from the student's perspective. We're going to highlight it for ourselves and make it mean something. Now, here's something that always happens. Beginning of the year, you have these great ideas. Let's say you go through this, you do it. You know where I'm going with this. Here comes February.
Oh, wow. You made that go a long ways, but keep going.
All right. I know. Forget. Okay. October.
Okay.
So here comes October. Are we still doing that? What are those words again? What did it? Oh, I remember beginning of the year, he said something or she said something.
Is that in an email?
Is that, was that
in an email?
Yeah. I don't remember that. Here's the thing. If you're going to pick things that you value, it needs to stay. It needs to be purposeful that you keep doing that. Because isn't that what you do in the classroom? Like you said, you pick your 3 words. You're purposeful about this.
Yes. And it's visible to us all the time. Because if I don't see it, if I'm not seeing it up and the kids aren't seeing it, then it's not in front of you. It's not there.
I call it internal branding. Internal branding. Let's say a company makes a new product, whatever that new product is. Their goal is to make it as successful as possible. And in order to do that, they put together a team and they actually sit down and say, what's it going to look like? What's it going to sound like? Where are we going to put it? Who's our demographic? How often are we going to talk about it? Where are we going to talk about it? Where are we going to put it up? They do all these things in order to increase the probability of success. When it comes to your values, if that's not one of the most important things, you need to sit down and say, what's it going to look like? What's it going to sound like? How often are we going to talk about it? Where are we going to post it? Where are we going to post it? When are we going to highlight kids when they do it? I mean, I get it. There's a lot of extra things that are going on. But take the time, like she said, in the classroom, it's everywhere. Let's talk building wide, okay? I'm going to give the building perspective. It should be everywhere. It should be on the front doors. It should be in the hallways. It should be in the stairwell. It should be in the bathrooms. It should be doing morning announcements. Like you do morning announcements. Good morning. Hello, Elmwood Elementary School. Remember, we're all about teamwork, integrity, and accountability. And then go into it. You have a faculty meeting. All right, everybody sit down. Remember, we're all about teamwork, integrity, accountability. Anybody, before we get started, anybody can share something that happened really well with teamwork, integrity, accountability. All right, let's go. It's that the power is in the repetition.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm thinking like my classroom kids, it's easy for them to get them on board and to, get them hyped up about it and really, and when they leave, they're like, Mrs. Dede, we were in art class and so did this. And I really think that was respectful. And that's one of our values, but I'm thinking, Steve, on the other side, I'm just thinking of my colleagues or, some of the teachers, we're not so receptive of things like that.
We're
so
not.
How do you get them, I'm just thinking of like collaborative teams, sometimes we just have other ideas and it's hard to hear one another and maybe those values slip out. So how do you make sure that your building or your district is doing those things like other than just posting it places?
Okay. One of the things that here's a quick little idea. Something that I did as a building administrator in one of my schools, I called it header footer. Header footer. And header footer means any paper that a teacher creates in their classroom, all right? Not something that you get off online, but something that you created. And I get everything's electronic now, but even if it's electronic, in the header or the footer of that paper needs to be what we respect and value. Those three words need to be there, as well as your name, contact information of the school so that parents can get a hold of you. Now, there's two different reasons why I do that. Number one, it advertises what we're all about constantly. So let's say a parent is home and they pick up a piece of paper, any paper that comes from their kids, they can see the header or the footer. This is what we're about. This is what we say we're about. All right. And then you keep saying it. You got to hold yourself accountable to what it is that you say. The second reason why we do that is, let's say a parent needs some help with their child. They can pick up any paper and they know how to get a hold of you or whatever like that. But it also reinforces what it is that we respect and value. When you have a meeting, if you put out an agenda, administrator, about anything, in the header or footer or in that agenda needs to be what it is that you respect and value.
It is.
You need to, when you start a meeting, even if it's a quick sit-down meeting that you're chit-chatting with your child's study team about something, says, hey, this is going to be a quick little meeting. Just forget, don't remember, we're also about teamwork, integrity, count. Just say it. And I know, as adults, we're like, why we got to keep saying it? Say it.
Because you need it.
Because you need it.
Because you need to hear it. We're
Right.
just like our classroom kids.
Right?
Yes.
Here's a little story. Growing up, my father's from West Virginia. All right. Now, for all our people who are listening from West Virginia, please don't take this the wrong way. He grew up in West Virginia. And so growing up in West Virginia, he has some very unusual things that he says when I was growing up. He would just come out of nowhere. It's country. And I grew up in New Jersey. And so I used to sit there and think growing up, like, good, this man would say the goofiest things. I'm like, nobody in New Jersey talks like this, man. And he would her and just say these things. And I used to think, I am never going to talk like this when I grow up. I say every one of them.
Yes.
If I don't say them, they're in my head.
Yes.
Why? Because he said them again and again and again and again. And then when he was done, he said it again and again and again. The power is in the repetition. So it's in your classroom. When you have those things, you're constantly repeating yourself about those things.
And you're recognizing it. I always tell myself, I'm not in love with the first few weeks of school.
Who is?
I don't know.
It's exciting to have them all come back, but we all know what's really going on.
Oh, but I really love like October.
October's
nice.
Yes.
Everybody's kind of in the groove of it, and they just know. But the very August, September, I do love recognizing the kids that are doing the things, and it's always those kids that are trying the hardest to do the things. And when they get recognized for it, they just become that person that other people look up to. So I just,
now let me just clarify a little bit. When you say recognizing, you're not giving them a thing, are you?
Oh, no. No, I just said something nice.
That's all you have to do, gang. A lot of times we talk, granted, this is all about value and values, but we have to roll over into the recognition world here. When we say recognition, open your mouth and say something nice. You don't have to give them anything. That's the reward. We could talk about reward in another podcast.
Yeah,
all right, another episode. We'll get that. But for recognition, when they do what it is that you want them to do, they're living out what it is that you value. Say something
nice.
All right, our high school people. All right, because you've been holding on here. All right, listening, because you're elementary.
Yes.
Same thing applies. There is no difference. Middle school people, and even if the kids act like they don't even care, they're not paying attention to you, they
care. High school cares.
They care. You're taking note of and not only are you saying, hey, good job, you're saying good job to what that value is. What is the value that you all say that you collectively value? Which one was it that they are living out?
Yep.
Here's the last little thing I want to say to everyone. Now, this is the part that I think that you should pause the recording, go find that teacher that needs to hear this, it's administrator that needs to hear this, and then push record again, right? Do not weaponize what it is that you value. What do I mean by weaponize? Constantly pointing out when they're not doing it and using it as a guilty tactic to control behavior. Don't weaponize it. Because there's some teachers who will weaponize this. Right? Don't weaponize this. Don't get to the point where you're like, you know, we're all about accountability. You think that's accountability? That's not it? Huh? Look at yourself. Get over here. Go sit over. You're weaponizing it. So now the kids are going to have a negative connotation about that.
Yeah.
Would you see that?
Well, and I'm thinking like those kids actually need you to speak for, like, to recognize the good behavior. The second you start doing that, you don't got it. They don't trust you. It's out.
And now they're going to be fearful about their regular behavior, thinking, am I messing up what it is that we all respect and value? They're going to be fearful. Administrators, same with you. Don't weaponize it. You know, let's say a teacher does mess up. Let's say a teacher isn't doing right. You have to have that conversation with them. Don't throw in their face, well, you know that, you know, we're all about integrity. You don't do that. Don't do that. Stop that. Because some would, you know, some of you are thinking, no one would do that. Yes, they would.
Yes.
I know some administrators. I know.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. It's a thing.
Yes, that's good.
It's
good
a thing. It's a thing. Ah. All right.
Values.
Valuing values.
Yes.
Find those words. What are those 3 words? And again, if you want those, you know what? In the blog, those of you that are reading the blog, we will put a link in there which lists all of the amazing words that you can choose from.
Yes.
Right.
And if you're a classroom teacher or middle school, whatever it is, you need to make sure you scaffold that. You need to pick what ones you are valuing for you, and then either guide them to what you kind of want them to land on.
Or pick them to yourself. There's the other option. You really could. But here's another thing. You pick 2, they pick 1. Or it is a classroom.
Yep. We did a big 3+1 one year because we couldn't decide on just 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3rd grade, 3, they think
3+1. Oh yeah.
It's like a bonus word.
And if you have 4, let's say you have 4, usually there's 4 weeks in a month. Each week, kind of highlight one. There's different options there.
Yeah.
All right.
Love it.
All right.
Here we go.
So open general session is going to be starting in about 15 minutes.
Right now.
So we're going to head on back, do that. Hopefully we gave you something of value. I love the fact that we're together in the same space.
Yes.
And so our next one will be back on 2 different parts,
Wyoming, Jersey.
And Jersey. But hopefully we're going to continue to give you value. See how I did that?
Oh, that's good.
See what I did? You see what I did there?
Yeah. Hey, we really would like to hear some of the words that you think that you would want to use in your classroom, or the ones that really stick out to you. So make sure you leave them on this video and kind of your thoughts about that. We'd love to hear.
Yes. Get back to us. Let us know what your thoughts are. If you do this, if you do this, let us know that. If you're trying it and you're like, hey, this is how it turned out, let us know that as well. All right. Hey, gang, have a great one. Hopefully we gave you some value. And we'll check in with you later.
Yeah, sounds good. Bye, guys.
See ya.